The Knott Foundation was born here in Baltimore thanks to the vision and the generosity and the faith of Henry and Marion Knott.
Henry Knott, hard worker, businessman, successful.
He was a staunch believer in Catholicism.
But I think the title he always wanted was philanthropist.
The foundation was great foresight on their part to be able to take this money and put it to greater good.
An organization that is making a difference. It's really amazing how many have been touched by the foundation's grants.
Daddy was a tough bird.
He came from the school of hard knocks. He did not do well in school as a student, but he was very smart.
He met Mother on a blind date, and they hit it off.
I once heard that he never would have achieved the success that he did had it not been for her.
Mother felt what they had together was a gift from God.
Henry Knott was incredibly proud of his family. Growing up in a family of 13 kids, 8 girls and 1 boy, and then she had these 3 boys in a row, it had to be hard to raise all those kids.
As you grew up, you realized the unbelievable talent that Mother had. She brought multitasking to a whole new level. Daddy would call Mother at 5 o'clock and say, 4 people coming for dinner. Is that okay? And it was always okay, and no matter what happened, it was a wonderful dinner.
She put up with Daddy's tirades. She put up with all of our tirades. She was the same.
My grandfather and my father went into business. Didn't work out. They were arguing and fighting all the time. And Daddy just said, I'm going to do this on my own. He started building after the war. The government programs came out. This was all to help the returning veterans because there wasn't enough housing. The first project was really Freedom Village, which was an apartment project. And then he built one, and then he built another, and then he built another, and just grew the business that way. And then started building shopping centers on top of that. Because if you're going to build a lot of houses, they need a place to shop. All that money that was coming in really started the wealth that he was able to build.
So my grandparents always pinched pennies, always, no matter what was in the bank account. That was just their way of life.
He'd buy a suit, and he'd wear that suit till you could see through the seat of the pants.
But the biggest thing was how hard he worked. And ultimately, for what purpose? To use the money that he had earned over the years and to give it all away.
Unlike many people who achieve success, they decided to share it.
People would come to him in need, and he would give, and people didn't know about it. Then they'd come back to repay him, and he'd say, no, you did it, now go be the best you can.
I think Daddy's generosity started with the generosity that was shown to his grandfather by the nuns.
Those nuns raised my father's mother and his aunt.
He thought faith and morals woven in with smarts was a great combination. Catholic schools, he just thought that that was a place for people to really flourish. And so that's where he put a lot of his money and a lot of his energy, and we continue to do that. My grandparents believed if you're going to give money to an organization, you better be very sure that they're going to be good stewards of that money.
Once I visited him in his office, he says, how do you think I decide who it is I'm going to give any money to? I said, I don't know. How do you decide? He said, I decide based upon how tough the leaders are. They make me promises when they ask money. I expect them to keep their promises.
Here at St. Elizabeth's School, the Knott Foundation has been very generous. We've received the seed money for an art therapist first. We've needed new carpet, part of our roof project the Knott Foundation supported, and most recently is the Smart Board project.
Grandmom and Grandpop and the original board believed early on that the family should have a hands-on approach to grant making, meaning that we should be involved in learning about the organizations that were requesting money, going out and meeting with them, and really coming to an informed decision as far as whether or not the particular organization should get funding.
Knott Foundation is more than just a funding partner. We'll have long conversations about the kids in the program. They genuinely care about what's happening here. I've never not felt like I've had them on our side.
That's always been a hallmark of the foundation, how we go about the grant process. It tends to be different than many other foundations and how they're doing their work.
Unless you come here and meet these women and talk to them, you don't always understand what it's about. The Knott Foundation and the family members who come really take the time to get to know what we do and how we do it and why we do it, and that makes a difference.
He believed in helping people and giving back to the community.
It's really important that what was started continues as close to what my grandparents' vision was for this money.
We've been around for 40 years, so let's hope we have another 40 in front of us, if not more.